welcome to my ball talk. So that's what we've decided to kind of name this.
Our ball talk.
TED Talk's worn out. Cancer talk, it's just oppressive.
Nobody wants to talk about cancer.
And that's why we're doing this, because people don't want to talk about this cancer, because it's your balls. It's reproductive organs, and people get weird and don't want to talk about things, but you've got to. With that, first of all, thank everybody so far for your views and your comments and encouragement and prayers. We can't.
And all the messages from both of us, like, it's been overwhelming in the most positive way.
From people from high school that I haven't heard from in a long time, it really means a lot. Everyone reaching out and showing support for us. So with that, another way we are gaining support for me through this journey, I'll let Brittany talk about it more.
Yeah. As some of you have maybe seen or not seen, we're trying to stop saying that's why we were laughing. But for those of you who haven't seen, or you did see it or already sent me an order, we are making t-shirts to support Austin. We had an awesome girl make us the logo that we really love. It's on it's on my Facebook and Austin's Facebook as well, and his mom's. So with that, if you want to get a shirt, just shoot me a message. I'm not trying to overwhelm Austin with messages, so I would prefer if you sent me messages. And they're $20 a piece, and we'll take it from there.
So what we're going to talk about with this video is more the struggles we've had so far with issues we've ran into.
Insurance. Covering certain things. Specifically sperm banking.
Another thing we're going to talk about is our worries and fears running up till tomorrow morning.
And how nervous we are.
Bright and early appointment in Philly at 7:30 in the morning that we'll have to wake up even earlier than usual for to beat traffic.
Yeah.
So with that, sperm banking and fertility stuff. Sperm banking is the process of them collecting mine or anybody's sperm to have kids in the future. Because with chemo and the surgery I was going to potentially have, RPL&D, they both have very, very serious side effects on your reproductive system. Specifically with chemo, at least for a period of 3 years.
If not indefinitely.
If not forever, I will be infertile. It's something that the doctors do tell you, but I don't think it's talked about enough up front, right off the bat with the initial diagnoses and before surgeries and some of the processes.
So with the RPL&D surgery, there are risks that they call retrograde ejaculation, which means that the sperm essentially does not exit to the body. It dumps back into your bladder. So that obviously would cause reproductive issues. And if that happens to you, if you hadn't sperm banked before, chances are you may never be able to conceive a child.
There are instances in that surgery, just like chemo, where it can reverse itself and come back and everything be normal, but it is not common for it to come back once it's gone. It has to do with where they do that surgery is right next to the nerve cluster that controls ejaculation. Why that's all the way in your back, I don't know. It's where God put it. But that's why you have that issue with that. With chemo, obviously the main drug of the BEP that causes the infertility is the
we don't know. We can't pronounce it.
It's basically a chemo drug with platinum in it. The platinum is what causes a majority of the side effects. It seems to be, according to the doctors, what causes the infertility. It is a very harsh drug on your body. The platinum aspect itself of it is. So that's why we reached out to our insurance at the very beginning of all this to see what they would even cover.
We decided, before even testicular cancer was a thing, before we were actually even married, that we wanted at least one child together. Austin has his daughter from a previous marriage, and I have my 2 children from a previous relationship. So it's something that we made the decision to have one mutually together, and then testicular cancer became a thing, and it has complicated our lives such far.
Very much so. Literally within 2 weeks of us talking about that and
Just
coming to that
deciding
decision,
that we were going to.
and then I get diagnosed with testicular cancer. So soon as that word came out and the first doctor mentioned sperm banking, we called our insurance to see what they would cover, because I'd always heard no insurance covers anything with fertility or sperm banking or all of that. So they said they would cover the retrieval of it
And the collection.
and the collection,
Yeah.
but not the storage or freezing initially.
Which it's not extremely expensive to sperm bank, at least from, what we have seen and done our research at different places. It's roughly $150 every 6 months for storage, which is no big deal. That's fine. It's just, it gets pricey where you have to give the samples, and then they have to test those samples and retrieve which sperm are the best and to store them. So that's where it gets a little bit pricey and a little out of hand. It's not something that we're extremely worried about, but we strongly feel that it is not, it shouldn't be this hard for couples who are going through cancer or any kind of life-changing event that affects your fertility to reasonably be able to have it covered through your insurance to get approved for it.
Especially at the most common age for testicular cancer. We're talking men in their early 20s to early 30s. Most men, average age now, don't have kids till they're 29 or early 30s. So we're talking about other men losing their ability to have children at an early age, and whether or not then they think they want children or not is still a very important decision they need to make,
And
of what they want for their future, or future wives if they're not married.
And even at the age of we'll say between ages 20 and 22, you're still growing, and you don't know for certain. You could be set on not having a child, and then that option is really taken away from you when you go through something like this. And then you could change your mind at 29, and what are you supposed to do then if that wasn't available for you?
So our insurance,
We're still fighting with them.
Like we said initially, said they would cover
We're
collection and costs like that. Brittany called at a later time to find out that they kind of went back on what they said and would cover the freezing.
And they contradict themselves on the website and from what the representatives have told us about what they will cover. Some of them say that, oh yeah, we'll cover, the retrieval and everything but the storage. And then other times I've called and they have said that they will cover everything because it's related to an illness and he's active duty still. So it's just been a hot mess, but we're going to figure it out. And that's really, I think another concern for us is, say that we do get everything approved and we move forward with it and we get to bank it, all good. What happens when we go to use it? Am I covered on my end? That's another issue in itself. So we'll touch on that, I guess, when we figure that out.
More talk about tomorrow with our doctor's appointment in the morning. Tomorrow we'll find out what this course of treatment is going to be. We know most likely from our previous talk with Dr. Vaughn that we will do 3 rounds of BEP chemotherapy. But with what they found now, that was before, with just finding I had lymph nodes that were possible metastasize. With these nodules now in my lungs, that could change the amount of rounds or how long he wants to do treatment for.
And that also does change his stage of cancer. So when he was originally diagnosed, it was a stage 1B. Talking to Dr. Vaughn on Friday, I think it was Friday, he said that if it has metastasized to his lungs, then he will become a stage 3A, we'll find out more tomorrow, obviously. That's just from what we know right now.
Which obviously everybody knows that's a much more serious stage of cancer, but really what those stages mean is just more than just one place. It's spread elsewhere.
And I don't know if I know we said we would get to it on the last video as far as the vascular invasion goes on the pathology report, but I don't believe that we touched on that.
Nope.
So essentially what vascular invasion means is that the cells of the cancer have multiplied or manipulated, however words they use. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I shouldn't be one either. But, you know, basically that your cancer has the ability to spread to other parts of your body. It has the ability to travel through your vascular system.
And one thing that our first doctor who did the orchiectomy to remove my testicle told us, that there were microscopic proof that it had spread up my spermatic cord out of my testicle, which leads...
But he wasn't concerned about it at all.
No concern expressed then. That's normal. Hopefully we caught it early enough, essentially, what he said.
I mean, and that's kind of from where I stand on things, from my personal experiences, you know, as far as my family goes. My uncle had multiple myeloma. And he had a surgery where they removed a tumor on the back of his spine. And the doctor said to my family that we think we got everything, but we may have nicked it. Which, if anyone knows anything about any type of cancer, if you nick something, it spreads like that. So that's definitely worrisome for us. You know, is that something that had happened in Austin's case? Is that, you know, was there anything we could have done to prevent that happening? You know, I'm not trying to blame any doctor or obviously, you know, any life-changing kind of surgery. Just something to think about.
So we'll definitely do a video either tomorrow evening, depending on how we feel after tomorrow's doctor appointment. Not going to promise anything.
And how crazy the kids are.
Yeah,
So.
Could be a pretty rough day tomorrow for us. So just keep us in your prayers with that. That every road from here on out is a positive one. Hopefully everybody liked round 2, and we'll keep going. We'll keep going as long as people are watching, because we love everybody who supports us, and we want all the support we can handle. Essentially, which is never going to be enough, because we know how many people love us. So with that, if you ever have any questions that I didn't answer on this video,
or if you think that there's questions that maybe we haven't covered that we can ask tomorrow, that would be good as well.
Don't hesitate to reach out to me or Brittany in our DMs or messages, and we'll get back or cover it on here. That's what we're doing this for. So until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.